Hey guys, welcome back to Pretentious Pundits, a channel where we discuss all things football and pretend to know what we're talking about. A sad day for football indeed, and I'm pretty sure most of you have already followed the drama that's been going on since morning. All revolving around the formation of a new breakaway league called the Super League, and there's already reports that 12 parent clubs have signed. That is, I think, six from England.
Yeah, six remaining.
Six from England. There's
Super
Liverpool,
six.
United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, and Manchester City. There are three from Spain that have already confirmed: Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid. As for the Italian league, there are three more clubs coming in from there. That is Juventus, AC Milan, and Inter. And yeah, these are the 12 teams as of now. Apparently, more are set to join, but clubs from Germany have released a statement. At least Borussia Dortmund has officially already stated that they are not interested in joining the Super League, and they continue to, they are going to keep their allegiance with UEFA.
Yeah.
So that's about it. And as of the latest news, what we're hearing is that Jose Mourinho has been sacked from Tottenham, and it has something to do with the fact that he raised his voice against the formation of Super League and refused to take his players out onto the pitch to train. Is why he's been sacked. Rumors follow that Jurgen Klopp, Mikel Arteta, and Thomas Tuchel could follow. So yeah, a sad day for football indeed. But anyways, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to talk about the Super League. And quickly, right off the bat, I want to get your opinion on Sachin. What do you think is going on right now?
I think this is a very complex topic, right? Because it starts from the financials of each club. It's not purely, it is purely a financial decision for them to have their own separate league, with each team having their extreme debt because of transfers, and for example, Tottenham building their own stadium, having over £1 billion of debt, and Barcelona. So I think it's probably that they colluded with each other to form this league so that they can get away from that from their debt. And this is a smart tactic, obviously, because they know that a saturated league with the best football players and the best football teams and managers all in under one league will definitely grab the views and extreme revenue. And they indicated that if the teams are going to have spectators, all of their ticket sales are going to be 4 figures per a ticket, so which is extremely high. So it's more financial. There's a financial gain for each team for them to have it, but the real question is it ethical, and does it follow the true spirit of sportsmanship? Is the biggest debate.
Yeah, and I think it's a very common and popular opinion amongst football fans and pundits alike, and footballing, legends, the greats, and also the managers, that it's completely against the spirit of football. And like you were saying about the debt-ridden clubs, I think out of all the most debt-ridden clubs in the world, the top 7 clubs who have the most accumulated debt are joining the Super League, which happen to be these top clubs, and you can see why. And obviously, the entire move has been funded by JP Morgan, who are ready to back these clubs. They've already, I think, pledged $5 billion to the cause, and apparently each team gets $400 million. Sorry, or $400 million. Yeah, exactly, $400 million just to sign the contract, just to sign the statement of intent. And just to put that into perspective, that is roughly 4 times the amount of money you get by winning by winning UCL, which is probably the most prestigious trophy out there right now, prestigious competition. So they are technically, essentially buying the entire aspect of football, and that is what the fans have a problem with. And yeah, as you spoke about the 4-figure ticket sums, what fan would be able to afford that?
To afford that, that's
There are these posh fans, right? And if you watch all these huge documentaries like All or Nothing, there are some Leeds fans, United fans, City fans who are just willing to throw away their entire livelihood and everything, their life even just to watch the match. So
exactly. But I feel
that's
like,
why they're exploiting it.
Yeah, regardless of whether or not they'll be earning a huge amount from their ticket sales, I think they will lose a major chunk of their fans who are going to come into the stadiums and watch the matches anyways. So
yeah, cool.
As of right now, the speculation is that the Super League could start as early as August of 2021. But anyways, Ujjant, I would like to get your views on the Super League.
See, for me, more than anything, it is about how it's going to affect recruitment of talent. Already, so for instance, the sole purpose, the sole aim of Joan Laporta getting elected, right? The promise that he was elected on was that he would improve La Masia, the Barcelona's academy. So he said through that they're going to get better players, they're going to train better players, and through that they'll be getting Barcelona back onto the global stage. But then this whole Super League, it's going to change the entire atmosphere over there. So this is basically like I don't think any academy players or such talents get any chance to shine. Instead, it's only like players from better bigger clubs who already established themselves. Only they are going to get into the global stage. So for me, that is one of the problem. Second thing is how uh, these billionaires, they rely on this kind of elitist attitude. They just want to they know that we fall into this trap. They're basically like the Pied Pipers, and we are the rats over there. So we are going to fall for this at any cost. They know that even if we oppose, right, it might be only a matter of few weeks or something. But then later, even we are going to fall for that, and yeah, they're just counting on us, and uh, that's it. We are. It's basically a very sad day for football. I mean, of course, there's hope with managers resigning and Mourinho sacking, as you said. But I don't think much is going to change unless fans also, not just fans, but players themselves voice out. Because as of now, we have not seen any players voice out their opinion. So I feel the big players also need to step up.
Uh, yeah, fair enough. And also speaking of the implications of the formation of Super League on football, what we are hearing as of now is that the Premier Leagues and all the respective national leagues, or the domestic leagues as people refer to them, have banned their teams from siding with the formation of the Super League. If they do so, there are chances that they will be, banned from participating in the domestic competition. And UEFA has already threatened to ban the clubs that agree to participate in the Super League from participating in any of the European competitions. And their players will also be banned from representing their national clubs, sorry, their nations rather, their nations in international tournaments, and also they cannot participate in any other European tournament. So the price of joining the Super League could be pretty heavy. And Shash, what is your opinion on the fact that this is purely a move for the money?
I mean, it's obvious. 3.5 billion funding. I think that's what each club is going to get. It's so obvious that these clubs are just in it for the money. I think we knew this from some time now. Football is long. I think it's long gone since when it was played for the sport. It's become a business now,
Yeah.
and it's just been continuing since then. And I think the Super League is just showing you. They're just trying to show their power. These top clubs, these 12 clubs, are just trying to show that they have control over football all over the world. Because the moment these 12 clubs have taken a side to form their own little Super League, it's scared UEFA, it has scared FIFA, because they know that if these clubs leave, then the Champions League, the Europa League, and the domestic leagues are all just screwed, because no one's going to come and watch. No one's going to come and watch West Brom play Crystal Palace every day, other than the club's fans. It's going to be very hard to get in money for the league. So that's where the problem comes. And I personally feel the clubs are doing this only because they want more money, because they're in a lot of financial crunch right now, and it could be that they're just trying to scare off UEFA or the other governing bodies, trying to get more money. But I think even if UEFA decides to go forward with it, and even if the Super League decides to, I mean, if the Super League is formed, then I think it's up to the fans and players and managers, because at the end of the day, without players, I think there's not going to be any football match. So if the players can voice out on their own, then I think something is possible to put a stop to this.
All right, thanks, Josh. And just to put things into perspective and explain to all our viewers watching what exactly the Super League is, the Super League is this new format of European football brought about by the JP Morgan Bank is funding the entire process. So what
Should
it
be called
does,
the JP Morgan Trophy.
probably
Why should be
it
called the
probably
Super
will
League?
be in a couple of years, but regardless of that, it's a breakaway league of perhaps one of the 15 top football teams all across the globe, and 5 spots where teams keep rotating year after year. And that's pretty much all there is about the format. It's going to be a league format where they're going to be divided into two groups of 10 teams each, and they're going to be playing games. And the top 4 of each team enters into a quarters kind of round, the top 4 clubs, which are then two-legged games, elimination games, if I may, the same format as UCL. So that goes on until the final round, where the winner takes it all. The problem why there is so much backlash for this is that the fans feel like the aspect of fair play is being taken away, open format and fair play, because the 15 founding clubs have been guaranteed permanent spots in the league. So irrespective of their performance anywhere else in their domestic leagues, if they are allowed to stay there, they will still retain their position in the Super League. So yeah, that's it. And also, when we talk about this being a purely financial moves by the owners of the clubs, Sachin, I think there was something we were discussing in terms of how FIFA and UEFA are hypocrites for calling out the so for the Super League, because they themselves are one of the most corrupt organizations in footballing world. So what is your opinion on the fact that they are so vehemently denying clubs the opportunity to form the Super League?
Yeah, I think the primary aspect that we miss out, especially on social media platforms like Twitter, we start exploding at clubs and the SL itself being formed, but we don't realize that organizations like FIFA and UEFA itself, in the first place, are against this and not allowing this league to happen, only because they lose revenue themselves, right? So that's why they're trying to ban all of the players in the clubs and probably not allowing the players to play in the themselves. Just even if they form this league, because they know the power these topmost clubs have and the amount of financial gain they can make together, right? So at this point, it's kind of like a cartel mentality, right? These few elite clubs on top can just discuss with each other and have a small oligopoly. And just decide everything together. So it's extremely powerful. But at the same time, even if we think that UEFA and FIFA are claiming that this shouldn't happen because it's against the rules and it's not ethical, and then it destroys the spirit, they also have an ulterior motive of making sure that their revenue doesn't fall themselves. So yeah,
we have a tweet right now from Fabrizio. He says Jose Mourinho's sacking is not linked to the Super League. He never refused to take the players to training today. He's being fired because of the results and nothing else.
I mean, fair enough. And I'm pretty sure that would be the statement given by the
Definitely, because look at this. Now there are only, I think, 5 games to the end of the season, 6 games max.
Yeah.
Why would you allow a manager to take 32 games in charge and sack him when there's 6 games left? Nothing can change. There's not much that can change. Okay, I'm sure Spurs can qualify for the Champions League. They're only a few points off. But changing your manager with 6 games to go, it's going to be very hard for any manager to come in and get you those points, because it's going to take time for players to adjust to tactics, right? So I think this was forced by. I think this was.
Yeah.
And also, we have another tweet that says the UEFA Executive Committee today has voted unanimously for the 2016 UCL to start from the 2024-25 season. And that, as we refer to it as the Swiss model of football. Ujjwal, what do you think about that? Do you think UEFA is genuinely forcing the USL to make a decision, like forcing their way to scrap the USL? Are they serious with their threats?
You're talking about the UCL, right? New format.
UCL and the SL, yeah. Obviously, the agenda for the UCL was supposed to be the new format, and the formation of that would also see, some hampering to the Super League. And also the fact that UEFA threatened the players and the teams with bans. So do you think the fact that these guys have rushed the decision and also unanimously voted for it shows that they are, ready to fight against the SL no matter what it takes?
Look, it's like definitely a rush decision, because I mean, first of all, FIFA and many other domestic organizations, they themselves have they've stopped their countries' teams from participating in the Champions League. So what kind of a Champions League will it be if there are no top tier teams, right? So it's certainly a rush decision. I don't know. See, according to me, it's just like the UEFA trying to save face, okay? But because after all, like Sachin mentioned, they are one of the most corrupt organizations, and they have, like take for example the World Cup being organized in Qatar, right? So again, when there's so much of stuff, corruption and all of the human rights issues in Qatar and all of that going on, UEFA, according to me, and FIFA, they're just pretending to be like the nice guys here, but I think they're also on the same side. Only like to pretend to like just pretending like they are like there's a sort of gap, but I don't think there's anything like that. It's only the fans versus us, the fans versus them, the bodies. So it's certainly a rush decision, and yeah,
Yeah,
it all
and
comes
quite
back to the fans.
obviously, the new UEFA format itself is so that they can increase their broadcasting income, right? 36 teams matches played much more than it was before, and attacking teams, new teams, 36. I mean, this is just in the end of the day, however you look at it as a fan, it's just like Indian politics, right? And it's really sad to see, we look at different sports and we say, there's a lot of corruption. For example, cricket. Let's not talk about that. But there's many sports with corruption, many topics with corruption. But then finally, when it comes to football and there's huge amount of politics involved and money involved, it just cheapens the sport, right?
It does.
And as
But
fans,
my
we feel really bad.
Yeah,
my only question is, how are we going to have a Champions League when you're banning the top tier teams? Like, they are the ones who make up the Champions League. Look at the list of like the winners from the last say 2 decades. It's only the top tier teams, like most of whom, other than probably Bayern Munich and Dortmund, who are against this. So like, how can you even call it the Champions League in the first place?
yeah,
Might be a
because the
revamped structure,
champions are
but
leaving. The champions are leaving.
Exactly.
I think
So
Sirish and I discussed this
Yeah,
a while before. We were looking at the list.
Yeah, so we were looking at the list, and as of what we calculated, now this is rough figures. I don't exactly remember the exact.
36, I think.
37. I think
37.
37 UEFA titles have been won by the teams that want to break away and participate in the Super League.
exactly.
In its 64-year history, I guess.
That's
Yeah, it's
Probably-
a 64-year history since when they started, since when the competition was established, and 37, which is more than half, is literally walking out of the door right there. And here's why there is so much backlash on the USL. The fact that first things first, fans already were of the opinion that money is ruining the sport. With the coming in of all these wealthy billionaire owners, the takeover of Man City or any other club, if you name it, PSG, the fans had a problem with that, stating that they were literally teams buying their success. And before all these big money signings came in, before like 10 million pounds was a huge transfer figure. That was a record high at some time. And at that time, top teams from other top European leagues, like the Dutch league, say Eredivisie, where Ajax or Celtic in the Scottish league, they're one of the most decorated clubs on this planet. And yet now they struggle to even reach the European elite, purely because of the fact that it's become completely money based. So any team could just get a financial takeover, a complete revamp from a billionaire owner, and they could be sitting on top of Champions League or whatever. That. And also now, speaking why leagues and UCL are completely against this, it's because if they do participate in the Super League, they'll be forcing them to forcing the UEFA and FIFA to ban these teams from their domestic leagues, which basically takes away the top teams from each of the leagues, of the domestic leagues, without which half their viewership is gone right there. Except for maybe in countries where the fan base is evenly spread out, say English football, all tiers have like a good amount of fans, but not worldwide, only in England.
Yeah.
And that's the big problem. Whereas these top teams that want to break away and participate in the Super League, they have fans all across the world. So that's so much marketing potential. Like Sachin mentioned, even if their ticket revenues take a fall, the television rights are going to sell.
They're going to get a lot of money because okay, you're telling me that if there's a Liverpool versus Barcelona match, there's a Madrid versus Juventus match, there's a United versus Chelsea match, all of them going on at the same day at the same time, you're telling me they're not going to earn money. People are going to watch that.
Definitely they're going to earn money, and that's the part where football fans are getting really upset. It's because according to them, all the concept of open system or fair entry that the leagues have taken so long to create is going right down the drain with the creation of the Super League. And while we agree there are probably certain benefits to it, at the moment, most of it is just outrage. It's purely outrage.
Yeah, I mean, also you need to know that we are hungry for these elite teams playing fixtures together because UEFA has made just simple demand and supply. The UEFA finals or the semi-finals, you see these huge teams play against each other and we all get excited. Okay, this is a once in a year fixture. But then if we have a Chelsea or a Man City, I mean, it is a really huge fixture, but we know they're going to play twice every year, come what may, right? So that's why UEFA's, by design, they've created the league so that we are thirsted to wait for teams to play against each other, huge teams. So they're very scared that a format like USL will make us consumers get used to a format like this, like Real Madrid playing Chelsea every other day. So that's what UCL is afraid of, because their model is based on them giving very less matches that we want to see, and when it comes, they just explode with revenue.
And also that element of surprise that UCL has, right? That anyone can play, any top team can play any top team. You don't know, but if it's going to be the Super League, they're going to play each other. They're going to play each other 10 times, I think. Each team has 10 matches, if I'm not wrong, is what they said.
Yeah.
So you're going to get used to watching these matches.
I personally feel it will backfire because, like Sachin again mentioned, there is a sort of thrill that is attached to these big matches. We need it only once in a while, alright? Of course, I mean, I would love to watch it every day. It's obviously.
I mean, we think that. I just feel like we think that, but we can never be saturated by football, right? I think because we have just been used to this UCL thing, we're just going to be excited every time for the next 10 years also that it's going to be a Chelsea or City. At least from my perspective, just a small game between Chelsea United, Chelsea City, I'm just extremely excited. I can imagine how it would be like with Madrid or Barcelona, who we took revenge on in the finals, and Bayern Munich, who we had such an epic final with, and then Super League and all of that. So it's really tough to
point there. But however, like look at the example of Premier League. Have you seen the number of 0-0 matches that we have had this season? So like when it gets that monotonous, right, these kind of things are going to happen. And Premier League literally lost a lot of viewership. Okay, especially as a United fan myself, I've seen the number of 0-0 matches that we've had this season. So if those kind of things happen, right, or suddenly there's a dip in form and all of that, I think that there's not that excitement is just going to fade away. So that's my whole problem. They need to maintain that some sort of standard. Like you can't just have it on a weekly basis. That's my point.
I think the idea of a Super League is something that was proposed. I think the idea was proposed in 2009. Even Wenger spoke about the Super League in 2009. Yeah. And I think what has happened here is the 12 clubs, I think the 15 clubs, I should say. I think the idea is fine. The Super League idea is fine. But the implementation is horribly wrong. I think what they've done, keeping only these 12 to 15 clubs together and not having a proper system of relegation, or not giving other clubs around the world a chance to join the Super League by performing well in their leagues is a problem with the Super League. I think the idea is fine. The implementation is horrible. But I think if you already have a competition like the Champions League and the Europa League, I think there is no need for a Super League. But I think they've just come up with this idea because they wanted to try something new, and of course, they want money. But yeah,
exactly what you said, and that brings me to my next point. While I agree that all of us are probably have like a mixed stand as of now, I think a major chunk of football fans' opinion is that we stand against the Super League purely because of the fact that the unfair system. I mean, the footballing pyramid that has been developed across so many years of football culture. It's pretty fair right now, the system, I would say.
It's very fair. I would say it's very
league fair. Systems where, every season 3 of the worst teams go down and, 3 other best teams in the league below come up. Pretty fair in my opinion. And also the fact that, the qualification for UCL and UEL, it does not need to be the same clubs every year. It can be different based on how you perform in your domestic league.
Now, here's what I had an idea. Like, okay, fine, the new Swiss model, as they say, the Champions League is following. I think there's going to be a confirmed spot. Okay, right now we have the Eredivisie where Ajax have to go through qualification stages to reach the Champions League.
Despite winning.
I think that's wrong because you see they reached the semi-final in 2019. Ajax have been a top team in the Champions League for quite some time now. They've always managed to reach the group stage. So I think such teams who keep performing well should get a direct entry to the Champions League. If UEFA could have a system.
Yeah, but the new Swiss model is going.
They have a direct spot, right? That's why I said the new Swiss system is something that's a good implementation from UEFA. But
don't you think that UEFA suspected that people would do something like this, and then they came
Definitely,
up,
I think
oh,
that's
this
the
is
only
why.
reason. I think that's the only reason they did it, because I think they knew that the Super League talks were going on, but I think they just took too much time to come up with a decision.
Yeah. So yeah, again, coming back to the same thing, their decision was pretty rushed, UEFA's, and obviously they're trying everything in their power to do to stop the formation of the Super League. But the way things are right now, it looks that in all possibility the Super League is going to be formed. And yeah, like you said, the implementation was all wrong. Right now, it might be something different, but right now the way it looks is the Super League has technically just bought out its teams. There is no fair system. There's no fair entry system, and obviously the 5 spots that they say that teams can qualify for. Again, like me and Sachin had a discussion off camera, it's going to be the teams that sell the most tickets or have the next
Yeah.
biggest fan base. It's
Yeah.
not going to be a fair system where other teams that aspire of joining leagues.
So you're
that
telling
big-
me, so West Ham has been performing incredibly this season.
Exactly, my
You're
point.
telling me West Ham is
Absolutely.
going to join the Super League? I
Not gonna
give you $1,000, they're not going to join the
Not
Super
gonna
League.
Sanjit,
happen. Not gonna happen. But yeah, we're very interested to see how this plays out. Unfortunately, this is all the information we have available with us right now. However, Sky Sports have released a very detailed guide as to what the Super League is and what entails, what its implications are. We'll leave a link to that in the description down below, so do check that out if you want more information. But yeah, as of now, that's all we have to offer, and a sad day for football indeed.
Very
Anyways,
sad day.
guys. While you're here, please make sure to share this video with your friends if you have who want to know more about the Super League. Also, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you get notified every time we upload. Like this video, let us know your opinions down in the comment section, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next one.
Thank you, guys. See you.